Oh yeah, we want to welcome Grenada, Carrico, Pity, Monica, and the rest of the world to another Mikey Live. How are you doing, people? It is always our pleasure to host a program right here. Now this is the good, the bad, and the Mikey. Now we have a lot of things to tell you about, man. Today, there's a lot of activities happening. A lot, just to say a lot. You know, so we're going to tell you a lot about those things, all right? Now, some of the items down for discussion tonight: PM attempts to clear the air on recent statements made at a town hall meeting in the US. All right, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about nurses, doctors, health workers, and the union call for an apology. I think I just realized an error. Don't hold those things against me, man. Calls for an apology. You understand? Calls for an apology from the Prime Minister. You understand? Let me just fix that thing. I realize I have a little error on the writing there. All right? From the Prime Minister. So we'll talk about that in a moment. Several major crashes over the weekend. You understand? See, I have to edit that too. Major crashes. I'm talking about vehicle turning over and ding. You understand? So we go talk about that too. All you, here what's going on. Police recruits were involved in a cleanup drive behind the bus terminal. We're going to talk about that. 2 hospitalized after weekend shooting. We're going to talk about that too. And the Pure Grenada Music Festival cancelled. So people texting me, boy, telling me. You understand? Cancelled. So that too, we go talk about. You understand? So brace all yourself. We have a thing to tell all you about. So here's what? Share the program. You see, when I share the program, that is how other people get to know that the business is live. Don't let me ask all of that twice. Share the business. Because we're coming back in a moment. And you see, when we come back, it's real news in all the Lili Lolo. So stay tuned. You see, we want to remind you that the headlines was brought to you through the kind compliments of Duty Free Caribbean and the Colombian Emirates International. Make sure all share the business.
And so it begins, a journey like no other. Jungles so lush, they make emeralds jealous. Water that sparkles like diamonds. Mountains with more facets than precious gems. This is where good times are had, where love is strengthened, where memories are formed. And when it all comes to an end, bring home something that will never fade. Colombian Emeralds International. Bring home more than a memory.
The countdown has begun, and time is running out. Shop at Courts today and make this season epic with the latest in electronics, appliances, stylish furniture, and so much more. Only at Courts, bringing value home.
Does your laundry detergent have enzymes to fight stains, remove bacteria and odors while being gentle on your hands? Does your laundry detergent have a natural lemon scent, easy rinse technology, and fabric softener to protect your clothes? If you answered yes, then you must be using Glace. If not, what are you waiting for? Glace laundry detergent is made with a 4-in-1 advanced formula and is phosphate-free, making it safe for the environment and safe for washing machines. Glace. A clean home is a Glace home.
And what we gotta let you know is Glace is distributed by Fortune Foods Grenada Limited. Alright, again, welcome to everyone who is on to Mikey Live, and those of you who are joining us for the first time, well, we'd like to say welcome to you as well. Also, we'd like to say welcome to the folks on WPG10, that's channels 10 and 11, and folks, we are live in HD via channel 11 on cable TV, and as well we are just we are great, as Donald Trump would say. So anyway, enough of that. Let's really get into some real news for today. Now, the first thing that I have to tell you, boy, you know, it has to do with sports, because you know the program is all about the good, the bad, and the everything else. So here is the first thing that we have to tell you about, boy. Grenada's national swimmer Delron Felix, he departs from Buenos Aires, Argentina today. That's where he departs for. All right, Buenos Aires, Argentina today to compete in the Youth Olympic Games to be staged from October 6th to the 18th. Now, Felix will represent swimming as part of Grenada's 4-member delegation of athletes who will be competing at the Youth Olympic Games. All you, give him a clap now, man. He has been doing really good. They say that he continues to demonstrate that he is an excellent ambassador for swimming in Grenada. All right? And that was a statement that was made by Perrin Johnson, right, GASA's president. They say that he continues to work closely with him, with his coach and so on, and is committed to his training program. You understand? So they walk in, people. They walk in. All you, give them a clap, no man. So it's a delegation of them that going, but you know, Felix, he continues to excel, and they continue to, you know, provide that avenue for him. Look at the team and them. Hey, all the big up all yourself now. Why is that one, boy? Big up all the whole self. You know, all represent the country good, and give them a clap now, people. I tell you, give them a clap. The good, the bad, and the everything else. All right. So yes, good. All right, we're moving on. Now, people, the next thing I have to tell you about by the Grenada Olympic Committee. They announced an 8-member team that will compete at Buenos Aires, all right? And so that's a separate bit of information that we got, all right? It includes the Delron and the others that you just saw, and some others as well, in terms of Dennis Williams, who is Dennis Williams, Paul Phillip, Jane Noel, and Douglas Noel, all right? And in terms of the athletes, we have Kelsey Morel Ross, a female athlete who is going to be participating in the shot put. A clap, please. Jared Sylvester, who is going to be participating in the 400 meter. Clap, please. And well, Delron Felix, of course, 50 meter and 100 meter freestyle. And then we have Enya Noel for the triathlon. And then the other members are, you know, like coach and the team doctor and chef de mission. All right, so these are the others. All right, so you have the athletes and you have the supporting team. Good. Now, folks, the next thing I have to tell you about this weekend, crashes. Now, let's take a look at an incident which occurred yesterday in the Cherry Hill area. A bike ran into the back of a vehicle, as you can see on your screen, a bus day. You understand? We have no information about any injuries or so, but people, in terms of, well, serious injuries from this accident. or should I say from this crash, all right, we were not able to obtain the details, the exact detail, but look at this. So that was one of the crashes, all right, from the weekend. Then there was another crash, right, on Friday night, people, where it was believed to be a hit and run. You know, the footage cannot be so panting, you know. It appeared to have been a hit and run. You understand? Where a vehicle overturned the people. Overturned, you know. Telling you. You understand? The guy was saying that, you know, it was a hit and run. He said the person hit him and they didn't stop and all kind of thing like that. You understand? That, people, was not the only crash. There was another one again. Serious one in St. David. Where a man believed to be in his 60s or so was hit by another vehicle. You know, and vehicle was on his leg. I think he suffered a broken leg. You understand? In Corinth. Crazy stuff, people. Crazy stuff. And I saw all the comments with the people on social media. Yo, take all the time, eh? Take all the time. You know, some of the comments from people in terms of why there are so many accidents and what can we do to prevent them. Crazy stuff, people. Interestingly, we have not had any reports of deaths over the weekend, but it was a very eventful weekend. In addition to the crashes and so on, gunshot are telling all the people. Gunshot. And so right now, police looking into that, but we're going to talk about that in a moment. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Because there's another story that I want to tell all you. We're coming back to that just now. So all you, today we received a press release from the National Democratic Congress. We haven't heard from the National Democratic Congress as a party in a while, but today we received interesting information from them, saying that they stand in solidarity with hospital staff. The National Democratic Congress, in a press release, says that they view with shock and alarm the unfortunate remarks uttered by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell against all medical professionals and support staff, including security officers attached to our hospitals, at the town hall meeting hosted by the NMP support group in New York City on Thursday, 27 September, instant. Now it says that doctors, nurses, orderlies, and security personnel were tarred and feathered by the Prime Minister, who accused them of incompetence and thievery. Grenadians all, our health sector is in crisis for lack of trained personnel, equipment, and medicines, to say nothing of the strenuous hours in a poor working environment that existing staff are forced to function in. They say that the stories of personal sacrifices made and human service rendered by doctors and nurses alike in the face of overwhelming challenges are epic. All of these are well known to the Minister for Health and the Prime Minister, yet in his haste to score brownie points with his base abroad, he chose to throw the whole lot under the bus. Today, the National Democratic Congress stands in solidarity with the deeply wounded and aggrieved staff of our hospitals across the nation and demands an unreserved apology from our Prime Minister to them and to the nation for his most erroneous remarks. And that's a press release that was sent out, people, by the National Democratic Congress today, as they say they are standing in solidarity with the nurses and doctors and all those who were affected by the statements that the Prime Minister made. So hold on. So today, something interesting happened. Very interesting. The nurses and the doctors went on what they called a stress break from 11 a.m. to about what time, so boy? From 11 a.m. hold on, take your time with me, partner. To about 1. You know, they are saying, people, that they are deeply affected and aggrieved by the statements that the Prime Minister would have made. No, listen to what them people are saying. They are asking for no less than an apology. There was a press conference. No, we go talk about that. In terms of what happens next. People, these people are taking this thing real serious. The Prime Minister sent out a press release today, which we could talk about too. You understand? But the people are taking the business real serious. There was even a worker. This is what we believe, because we don't have their credentials, we don't have the documents. You understand? Who went on record, I'm making it up, who went on record with a placard and stone, you know, demanding more from the Prime Minister. We go hook up that for in a moment too. You understand? But people, the thing has gotten really sticky, because when asked the question today in terms of what happens next, where do we go from here? So if the Prime Minister doesn't apologize, are we likely to see an escalation of the protest action? You know what they said? They're not going to entertain the thought. Why? Because they know, they say, and they believe, they say, that the Prime Minister will retract the statement. Now they are saying that it is very important that that be done, so as to do some damage control in terms of the perception the comments create about the health sector, about the health workers of Grenada. This happened, what's about to show on your screen today, while the protest activity was going on.
I was born here. My neighbor string buried here. And there are issues, many more issues that need to be addressed. The very hospital will need to address the issue. Can you recall when a nurse had to improvise 1,000,000 times to ensure that our life is being spared?
Tell them, brother.
When you travel overseas, learn to speak what your teacher taught you in school, from university to primary school. Enough is enough. Withdraw those statements. I need my pension after 34 years. And I am showing you right here. I got a court in 1987, 45 sutras, not 1 cent of compensation. So it's wood on the crapper back, but the crapper is going to jump.
Wow. All right. So that happened today. Also happening today was a press conference held by the head of the Nurses Association, head of the Young Workers Association, Young Doctors Association, and head of the Public Workers Union. Now, in today's press conference, several questions were asked and so on about where do we go from here. Okay? Some of the things that we need to pay attention to are some statements that was made by the head of the Young Doctors Association. He linked this issue to the St. George's University. And he said, maybe the Prime Minister didn't think, but he believes that the statements also implicates the St. George's University. Listen to this.
I think the statement implicates just more than health care throughout the nation in the hospital. But in a sense, what our dear Prime Minister has to be cognizant of is that we have a university on the island. We have a university on the island, and we have people, students from around the globe coming to that university. And many of these students, they attend our hospital to receive training. What are we saying about the quality of education that these people are receiving at our hospitals? What is our Prime Minister saying? Is there merit to what he's saying? Is there truth to the level of incompetence that he speaks of? This is very damaging. It is very damaging to us as a country. That university contributes greatly to the economics of our country. And that statement could have very serious repercussions on our country. I rest my case.
All right, and that's Dr. Marvin Koyan, and he's the head of the Young Doctors Association, and you'll have heard how he explained how this entire thing can implicate the St. George's University. Now, we have had the president of the Public Workers Union, Rachel Roberts, who called for the immediate retraction of the statements made by the Prime Minister.
This afternoon, I'm very sad and I'm grieved and in shock to be sitting here to speak on the utterances of our Prime Minister.
Yeah.
The Public Workers Union and all its members, especially the hard-working men and women who give human service to our healthcare system, are saddened and aggrieved by these statements, these derogatory, thoughtless statements by the Prime Minister of a country, which were made in an international forum. Healthcare workers are professionals. Healthcare workers are the men and women who support our workforce. The men and women who ensure the economic development of our country by ensuring we have a healthy workforce. As we normally say, health is our wealth. And to have our Prime Minister make statements that but that undermines the integrity of the healthcare system and the competence of our members is very, very sad. And it affects us not just because they are statements that are damaging to us, but because they are statements that can have psychological effects on our members and are having psychological effects on our members. It affects their character, it affects their competency, their skills and knowledge, and their ability to perform their duties.
And that's the president of the Public Workers Union, Rachel Roberts, asking the Prime Minister to retract it. It was a bit lengthy, so in the interest of time, I had to cut it, all right? And then we had the nursing representative who also spoke on this.
I'm calling on our Prime Minister to retract those statements, because there is no data showing. We have no facts. We don't have the facts that our Prime Minister have, telling us that our members stole from the employer. I just want to add that it is time for, and I'm speaking on behalf of nurses, that it is time for our nursing personnel to be treated with respect for the vital roles that they play in nation building. Roles such as health promotion and prevention, surveillance, restoration, rehabilitation. Nursing personnel are critical to the healthcare system. Like I said, they are essential services, and many times they are defamed and disrespected. And it's sad, because if the highest level of our leadership can speak to about health personnel in that manner, the citizens oftentimes follow. That's why we call on our Honorable Prime Minister to do the rightful thing and apologize to the health.
All right, and that's Patricia Strawn, the president of the Nurses Association. And yeah, it's quite a bit, and this is a very particular situation, because we are not sure in terms of what happens next. Where will we go from here? Grenada's Prime Minister today sent out a press release saying that it has become necessary to clarify recent statements about the inappropriate use of the government's resources for personal benefits. It says that his statements were not meant to imply that all public officers are guilty of this, but it is important to face the ugly truth that this has been happening and continues to happen across the public service, not only at the General Hospital, which was specifically referenced in response to a question on health. The statement made at the recent town hall meeting in Brooklyn, New York, were in no way different from previous statements made about the pilfering of supplies from various government departments and the inappropriate use of government resources. It says this is not hearsay, it is a fact. And I have repeatedly shared my concern about the corrupt practices across government. And he went on to say a lot more, in which, of course, folks, you can find on our website. It is already posted there, mikeylive.com. It's a very lengthy press release, but you can check it out anyway, all right? Now, we are moving on. Folks, it was brought to our attention word of the postponement. No. Let's take that back. Of the cancellation. I ain't making it up. The cancellation of the Pure Grenada Music Festival, which has happened for, I think it was 3 years. Yeah. Now, for 2019, it was scheduled to take place on the 3rd to the 5th of May. Well, we have received word that it has been cancelled. chairman sent out a release this morning. He said, "It is my deepest regret that I must announce the cancellation of the Pure Grenada Music Festival. We enjoyed and appreciated the amazing responses," he say, "from organizers, volunteers, and patrons alike to the PGMF 2016, 2017, and 2018. And we were excited about the possibilities for Pure Grenada Music Festival for 2019. However, the Pure Grenada Music Festival has been a great financial responsibility and expense that I have undertaken for the past 3 years. And although I have been happy to do what I can do to ensure the success of this event, because I truly believe in it and the opportunities it could bring to the people of Grenada, I am unable to shoulder the financial risk a fourth time. We have been putting a great effort to curb this obstacle, but with just 7 months left before the next scheduled festival, I have to make the difficult but necessary decision to cancel next year's event." All right, again, you can check out the remaining of this press release. It's already posted on our website, mikeylive.com, again, in the interest of time. Folks, the Pure Grenada Music Festival, they say, the cost to put it on runs somewhere within in the range of $1 million. $1 million. It runs in the range of that. But I say now, look at that, check us on the program. Check us on the program. We could see what we could do for all y'all before we cancel the business. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's small thing. Alright, something will work out this morning. You understand? This morning, something will work out. All you shooting and thing na. Shooting and thing na. Weekend day, boy. Now we received word of shooting taking place, a robbery and thing, Friday into Saturday. Robbery with violence, with gun business and thing. You understand? Now, according to reports, one business on the Kirani James Boulevard was robbed, and businessman shot and hospitalized. Ain't making it up. Shot and hospitalized. We also heard from media reports of a second person who was shot after the robbery. Possibly, possibly by the same shooter of the robbery, but we ain't no police. So we just saying possibly. We don't have any files. We also had information that this whole thing could be linked to another shooting incident in the same village, kinda. You understand? So we watching and see. They say the robber made out with an undisclosed amount of money. You understand? And then the businessman received a gunshot. You understand? No. According to report, there is a man assisting police with investigation surrounding the two separate shootings. You understand? Well, let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. Because that's rather interesting. Rather interesting. Then there was, I think there were about 2 separate chopping incidents, stabbing incidents, and those kind of thing on the weekend. You know, some kind of mix up with some relationship matters and things like that. You know, but we don't really want to get into that matter tonight. Some of our little shady program yet. Now they're running all the multinational report. Shady program. You understand? So we're moving on. All you. The next thing we have to tell all you about is, boy, some workers, well, recruits, police recruits. There's a big story. It might not be that as exciting to all you, but it's a big story. We had police recruits on the weekend cleaning up some of all your mess. When I say that, I mean the littering and thing now behind the bus terminal. People, if you see thing, if you see thing, if you see thing, 54 of them police recruit. I think they new recruits now, right? So they say that they were very enthusiastic about the whole thing, about the idea of doing the cleanup behind the bus terminal. According to the police, they say, listen, this is a concern that many people have had in terms of the condition of the place. So the commissioner of police, in his wisdom, say, well, you know what, let me try to help out in the business. You understand? So they decide to help out in the business, and they help out in the business. But people, if you see the kind of rubbish these people pull out from inside the bus terminal, from in the stones and things behind the bus terminal, you go, shame. Mind you, this is not the first time. Hi, Sherry. Sherry. This is not the first time that this place is being cleaned up within a few months. I ain't making it up. That's a fact. We ain't making it up. You understand? But people, the recruits were very enthusiastic about cleaning up the place. They spend several hours. Look trouble now. Hours. Cleaning up the thing. Look. You telling me? Hours, people. What I want all of you to do for me now, give them police recruit a clap, please. You understand? Give them police recruits a clap. You understand? Because they could have fret and write up things on Facebook and thing. They did not do that. You know what they did instead? They went and they clean. And they clean. And they clean. And when they're done, they talk to their friends about it and say, boy, if you see the place. You understand? Look at that. Look at that. So you see the kind of things that they had to go through. Look, no, I feel like throwing up on the program. Feel like throwing up on the program. You understand? That's the kind of things they had to do. Well, listen to the head of the training at the Royal Grenada Police Force on this matter.
Utilize the commissioner thought it prudent to take this initiative, utilize the recruits, which is about 56 of them here this morning, being a large group of persons in one place, and utilize it as a training opportunity to help them to understand the rudiments of the job of a police officer. And as such, that's why we're here out here this morning in such large numbers to tackle this issue head on and to send a message that going forward the police would become very intolerant of littering, willful littering for that matter. Well, the Litter Act is in full effect, and we want the nation to know that it would be enforced fully throughout the nation. We as a nation need to be cognizant of the fact that we must try and do better with litter, because litter, as one slogan said, is bitter. It creates a very negative image for our society. It pollutes our environment and affects us all in general and impacts negatively on our health. So we must try and do better in terms of harnessing our litter. It takes nothing out of you if you're driving in a vehicle to have a plastic bag in the vehicle, to put the litter and stop at any bin and drop it off. So it's not good for us to just be throwing garbage all over the place and be expecting the people that deal with waste to follow us and pick it up. That is not good as a country. We should be proud of a little nation, as we sometimes say we are, but being proud of the nation, we must take litter very seriously.
Yes, all right, thank you very much. I see some people were saying that they didn't have audio. That's because you need to balance your audio on whatever system that you use a little bit better, all right, in order for it to work properly. But the officer was also saying that the amount of litter that they would have seen and collected was alarming. Yeah, he said though the officers were enthusiastic about it, still the number of things that, or the amount of things that they collected was just alarming.
Oh, the officers are highly enthused. They're 1 month into training and they're highly motivated. When they were informed of this, they were enthused and ready to undertake the assignment. So we've been out here almost 2 hours, and they've been going at it, doing their very best to get as much litter out of the stones as possible. It's alarming to me to see the amount of debris, and that's just touching the surface, because a little further on into the stones there's a lot more litter in there. It's not noticeable at the surface level, but in between the stones we have things like tubs and gallon bottles, the water gallon bottles, and a lot of bottles and xylophones and a lot of different kind of stuff, paper. Looking around on the ground here, we can see plastic and cups and things flying all over the place. So it's a very serious issue. Oh, the officers are highly enthused. They're 1 month into training.
Yes, thank you very much. And you heard that yourself, right? They are 1 month into training. You know, so they get an idea as to what the job entails. As he was saying, we want to say thank you very much to ASP Anthony George, who is the officer in charge of the police training school, for sharing the information with us. Now we are moving on, folks, as we take a trip. We hear that the folks out there in St. Lucia, we cannot be forgetting them, right? No, they have had their fair share of things to deal with regards to Tropical Storm Kirk. Do you guys realize that we have not heard much about Kirk since it passed through the islands? What is happening? Are they getting so frequent? Are these things getting so frequent that it just is another day for us? But anyway, let us be reminded that upon the passage of any such system, there will be residents who will be left homeless, roofless, foodless, shelterless. St. Lucia.
Visit your local pharmacy.
All residents are in distress after over 7 roofs were ripped off and partially damaged by the high winds of Tropical Storm Kirk. One family roof blew off around 9 p.m. on Thursday. Lorena Prosper says the family did heed the warning and were thankfully prepared.
The roof had been blown down in Thomas, so we had to use the same material and we had to patch it back. So I was expecting that to happen from the time I heard the force of the wind. We were prepared, but we had thanks God we have a basement, so we had time to move all our bedding and important stuff, electronics, down in the basement, and we'd spend the rest of the night there. Well, at least we have life, because material things can be replaced, but thanks God we have life. Yeah.
A traumatized Cherry John was asleep when she was alerted to the blown roof around 8 p.m. by a neighbor. She recounts how she moved to safety.
And I heard my neighbor shouting out my name, saying, the roof, the roof, the roof. So I started panicking, I started screaming, and then I started calling my brother, and then there was another guy in the house with me. Well, Furnace was there with me at that time when that happened, so they were helping me shift things around, and Then we had the biggest challenge was getting out of the house to safety, because galvanized flying everywhere and rain and wind and everything like that. So I took the warning seriously and everything. I mean, I packed everything nicely and stuff, but I just wasn't expecting that my roof will fly. I wasn't expecting this at all.
Another Olio resident says the loud howling of the wind was terrifying.
Very rough. But they put like where galvanized fire and like Kaisa. If you talk about that, galvanized only shits like on. It's rough, it's terrible. But I tell me about my
Denry's North MP Sean Edward had been up since 5 a.m. on Friday assessing the damage in his constituency. He says the agriculture sector has taken a huge hit.
Last night we were severely impacted. Some communities have reported extensive damage and others basically went unscathed. But for us in the Mabuya Valley, we've witnessed a lot of damage to the agricultural sector. Banana farmers in particular have suffered a huge blow. Some flower farms have been literally flattened, and for some farmers it will be a very long road to recovery. The storm was very impactful. Infrastructure has been spared more or less, but as I said earlier,